Right, so I want to introduce our next speaker, and it's Alex Iglecia. So Alex is, what he does is he helps successful men and women clear the crap and stay unstuck so that they can show up as a magnetic, powerful, epic being they came to be. Right? So Alex is a former NASA engineer, and he's a born-again, ninja-turned mind-body catalyst, entrepreneur, and impact optimist. Try saying that 5 times fast. Despite various successes and really many gold stars in his life, he's hit bottom physically, emotionally, and financially, and nearly lost his marriage. So Alex took some notable leaps and many small steps and recreated a new life beyond the countless limiting beliefs, blocks, and expectations of everyone else, and absolutely loves helping other playful souls find their unique way forward. Please welcome Alex.
Let me ask you a question. If you had just a little more clarity on your purpose, what would change in the next 6 to 12 months? What wouldn't? Take just a moment, the second question on the handout that you just received. I'd like you to capture whatever you're aware of right now. If you have just a little clarity around your purpose, whatever that meant for you, in whatever area of life that is important for you, what would change? And the other question I have for you is, what's your relationship to your purpose right now? On a scale of 1 to 5, are you at a 1 with like, well, what do you even mean by purpose? What the heck is that? Or are you at 5, where you never feel like you're off track? Or somewhere in between? There's no right or wrong. Just where are you at right now? So welcome to When Life Depends on It, the hand-to-hand combat insight that reveals your true purpose. And over the next 25 minutes or so, I invite you to go on a journey with me. A bit of a hero's journey, a hero's quest. And at the end, I don't know what you're going to discover, but I have a sense that it'll be something kind of interesting. Maybe even a little important, but we won't make that too significant right now. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to tell you a little bit about me and how I got to a different point of view about purpose. It was really sticking me for a long time. Then I'm going to share what that hand-to-hand combat insight was. We're actually going to go to the back of the room, do some magic. Then we'll come back and see how everybody's doing at the end of their journey. If that sounds like a fun journey for you, it would be valuable, raise your hand. Okay, great. Because now is the time to leave. If this does not sound interesting to you, and you're already scared in your pants, you have my permission. There's a photo booth out there. Lots of fun you can have. So would it be okay to tell you a little bit about my story and how I got to an interesting point of view about purpose?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. So I live in Marin, and I make my living speaking, facilitating, working with leaders, working with teams, where the big idea, the big problem is there's some sort of stuckness. The way they're thinking about things isn't working. They're not able to implement their strategies because of something just seems to be not working. So for example, I had a client named Brendan who came to me and said, look, I got a successful CrossFit business. I want to make it bigger. Something's not right. I'm not sure what it is. So we dug in. The very first thing we did was I helped him articulate a vision that was really deeply from his heart. He ended up writing that on the wall at his CrossFit gym. And within months, his membership nearly doubled because that was aligned with the people that he really wanted to be filling his membership with. Does that make sense? But the other thing was, he had a dream that he wasn't even acknowledging. He was such a savior, such a protector. He had a dream of being in the special forces, had no idea how he could make that happen while having a daughter, while having a business. So he had these different tensions. I want a great business. I want a great marriage. I want this crazy dream that seems like it would destroy everything. Within 6 months, it was all happening. It was really, really cool. So I love the work that I get to do because it's kind of like going into the Matrix and helping someone who feels like, where's Morpheus? Where's Morpheus? And they get plucked out. And after they get plucked out, they go, oh, that's who I am. That's what I like to do. How do I start to rearrange and choose myself every day? So just this week, I reached out to a prospective client, and I said, how's it going? How are you doing? And he wrote back and he said, Alex, you wouldn't be able to know this, but 2 weeks ago on June 2nd, my daughter died. She was hit by a car while she was jogging. And after sharing my condolences and really noticing how much I wanted to help him, because he was there saying, look, I'm the animal for my wife. I am helping her be strong. I'm helping us get through this. And I just wanted to help him. And I also recognize that it's not my duty to go in and save him in any way. And it's up to him to choose himself. Whether that's to receive help from me or the support from his community or whatever else he's going to get. But as I reflected on that, I remembered that I had lost a friend in a car accident. He died, his father died, his brother died, his other brother was maimed. 2 years later, I was driving along in the passenger side of the car with my friend Larry. We're in the Palm Desert down south, Southern California. We're going 100 miles an hour. It's about 11 o'clock at night. We turned the lights off of the car because we thought that would be really cool. Pitch black, going really fast on this two-lane road. Nobody around, no lights. Like, okay, that's fun. Let's turn the lights back on. We start to slow down. Next thing I know, he says, oh shit, the car's going towards the passenger side, towards the side of the road. Something happened. And a few seconds later, I'm crawling myself out of the window of the car. He's screaming, he's scared. Turns out he was fine. I was fine. A little while later, in the ambulance, the driver said to me, kid, you should be decapitated. You should be dead. And I was fine. The next day, we went and saw the car. The passenger side was crushed down to chest level. I don't know how I survived it. But the moral of the story is not like those great stories of someone who got brushed with death and decided to dedicate their life to something great. No, because it didn't wake me up. I didn't wake up to value my life until many, many years later. But what flipped the switch really was this hand-to-hand combat insight that I'm going to share with you in a little bit when we go to the back of the room. But along the way, what happened was I started teaching self-defense. And I started teaching self-defense in Boston. And it really grew when there was a rapist in the North End. So people were coming because they were afraid for their life. At the same time, I was really interested in how do we train here in a way that really works for someone. So it's not you learning the tools and having to master something that then you're not going to even be able to use because it's a stressful situation. How do we actually practice here so that over here you just have confidence? It's just you. And I noticed that in the martial arts world, where there's lots of techniques and lots of forms and the conversations about self-defense, but the problem was that unless they were really practicing like law enforcement in stressful situations, many of these techniques for most people would just be thrown out the window. Why? That was my question. Why? Why is it that what is the difference between someone who can defend themselves and someone who has the knowledge but can't? What's the difference between someone who has all the knowledge but can't just have the ease of using it? So I started asking the question, study that question a little bit. But here was my turning point where I really started to choose myself. I was promoting a workshop at a women's health club, big one, big chain in Boston. And I had a table, and I'm talking to this woman about the founder of the martial art, about the founder of my business partner, and how I was helping him create this brand. And she said, "He's not here. I don't care about him. Who are you?" And I didn't have an answer. And I realized that a lot of my life had been learning systems and losing me. Learning skill and losing me. Mastering something and then finding, where am I? So that started to be a quest for, what the hell is purpose? What am I doing? What's my story? What do I care about? And that led me to do a lot of things, like go to Bali and get married by a shaman and an Oregon druid. It led me to, last year, going to a luxurious private island in Belize for a transformational week with my wife. It led me on a lot of really amazing, synchronistic, magical adventures that was like, this is what I want. This is my life. And it got me speaking, it got me doing a lot of things. Along the way, I kept looking at purpose. How do I know my purpose? And everything that I could find was answer these kind of questions, boil it down to a statement, and then live that. I can't tell you how many times I did that. I've got so many journals full of that kind of work that means nothing to me. And what I realized was, and you take a couple notes if you like on this, because there's a place on purpose isn't and purpose is. What I realized that purpose is not an answer. At least for creative people, it's not an answer. For some people, maybe. For me, it wasn't. So for me, purpose is always evolving. And right now, if I'm being a stepdad, which I am, then I just got a certain purpose. If I'm thinking about myself as a citizen of the planet, then I have a different answer. It's always evolving, and day to day, there's new choices, new awareness. I realized that purpose is not visible. It has nothing to do necessarily with what I'm doing. Is it my website? Is it how I lead a team? It doesn't really have to do with how I show up. It's about the way that I'm showing up. Am I showing up playfully in the way that works for me? Or am I modeling someone else? Because that's the way I was told to do it. And I noticed that purpose was not so much about the action, but it was about the story I was telling about the action. If I had a car accident, what was the purpose of that? Well, I can make up a lot of stories about that. And where am I going in the future? Well, I don't know, but I can make up some stories about that. So the real question is, does the story make me feel alive? So it's really about aliveness. And by the end of our journey today, I'm hoping that you'll have a word that unpacks a story for you that is both meaningful, but more importantly, just makes you feel more alive. And if you reference that whenever you feel stuck, or whenever there's a fear, you go, oh, wait a minute. Right, I got that story, I got that word, I got that energy. Then you can feed that back into your work, however it's showing up and however it's evolving. How does that sound? Is that kind of interesting? Yeah. Cool. So turn to someone next to you and say, I don't know what purpose is, but let's go on a journey. So I'm going to very quickly walk you through the 5 steps that I've been using with teams and with people. And I use it in 15 minutes because it's just like something I do. I just see the essential story and the gift that people are behind whatever they're doing. And it's sort of like just me being a psychic freak. But I've outlined 5 steps, and you can do this on your own. We're going to do a little bit of a deep dive into the first step. So the first thing is to get a sense for what's your greatest achievement and why. For example, my greatest achievement is getting married in Bali. Why? Because we always said, we're not interested in traditional marriage, but if we're ever on a faraway island with a witch doctor, what the hell? Let's do that. Well, that showed up, that manifested. It was magical and easy. What's your greatest fear and why is the second step. So you want to look at what's your greatest fear? For me, the first time I asked this, I realized, oh my God, being buried alive. Well, why? Because I'm gifted, I'm trapped, I can't get help, nobody knows I'm here, nobody's going to rescue me. That embodies my greatest fear. When I asked those two questions, immediately my brain connected the dots. It's like, oh my God, I've been doing this little pattern all my life. Somehow getting trapped, where I just believe for weird reasons, nobody's going to save me, can't ask for help, even if I did, it wouldn't work. And something would break it through, or I'd learn something, or something magical would happen, and I get to the other side of, oh, I'm just me, the magic's happening. And I did that in my body, I did that with my relationship, and I realized that this was just something I loved to do, and nothing was actually wrong about it. So it's pretty powerful. Then, step 4 is recognizing the gift that you already are. So instead of looking out there and figuring out what your strengths are, you should go, what is that essence of what I already do that makes me come alive? What's the essence of that? For me, it's that sense of magical play and mixing and matching and making magic happen. That may or may not be ones for you. I find that everybody's got a different version. Even if we all called it freedom, you'd all have different flavors. When you pack into the word freedom, and you tell yourself a step, 3, connect the dots, reveal the hidden story. For me, that hidden story is from trapped to free. So now I can design my marketing around that. I can recognize that the way that I help people, the way that I like Superman save people, is in a specific way of helping some sense of them that feels trapped and stuck to find a sense of space, freedom. Now it's possible. And I know that I do that whether I learn a skill or I'm just listening. So I wonder what that's going to be for you. And then the 5th part is the daily practice. It's choose yourself and every day set yourself free. And I'm sorry, if there's a magic bullet for this, I haven't found it. If anything, it is just a constant choosing and remembering that you're already out there. That the universe has already been going on for billions of years, that every molecule in your body is stardust. And that you are literally awareness, presence, wrapped in stardust. So what would it be like to walk around the world just remembering that and knowing that you're intrinsically valuable and you get to choose whatever it is you actually like to do. And you can't even help but help others. So, with that in mind, I invite you to put down your stuff, meet me in the back of the room in 10 seconds. Make a little bit of a circle. Make a circle. With enough space that if you were going to freak out, it wouldn't hurt anybody. You have a little room behind you and a little room in front of you. So I started asking this question in my self-defense workshops. And I ask it to you right now. Have you given yourself permission to fight for your life? Have you given yourself permission to fight for your life? And do whatever it takes. Eye gouge, scratch, elbow, knee, ball strike, whatever it takes. Scream, no! Whatever it takes. Because here's the insight. If for whatever reason you don't, if there's any part of a no in there for you, then that psychology will block your body. Your body already knows what to do, but the psychology stops the flow. So I made it terribly, 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 terribly wrong to gouge an eye out, and my life depends on it, I won't even think of doing this. I'll think of doing this. I'll be afraid. I'll lock up in my body. And the wisdom of my body cannot come through to its fullest. Thank you. You're an awesome attacker. But here's the real trick. if you did give yourself permission to do whatever it takes to fight for your life, then again, it didn't matter what technique you learned. Because your body already knows. And I'd like to prove that to you right now. So move a little closer so there's nothing behind you. But your body already knows the master self-defense technique. It is called flinch. Say flinch. Flinch. So, knowing that there's not a water balloon in my hand, right? Is there a water balloon in my hand?
No.
There's not. Knowing that there's not, but knowing that in a few moments I'm going to throw this imaginary water balloon at everybody, I want you to just pay attention to what happens in your body. Because at some point, when I throw this... Who felt their body react? It's called flinch. Your nervous system does this faster than you can think. This is why when people do have a car accident, go through the window, there's glass cuts all over their arms. Because their arms come up. This is why in a knife attack, when someone's been attacked with a knife, there's cuts all over their arms. Because you just instinctively react. So take your hands out of your pocket. Make sure you got a little bit of room. We're going to practice the flinch in very slow motion. You can have the thought in your head of, oh shit. And the body's going to do something like this. So, everybody, in slow motion, here's the water balloon. And you're, oh shit. Yes! You guys are masters. They break it all. So now just, same thing again. Flinch. Good. And again, flinch. Good. And one more time, flinch. Okay, good. Now, if your boss said to you something that surprised you, your body flinches. Your arms may not come up, but your body flinches. And the cool thing is to know that this is just a fantastic safety mechanism. And it's not the end of the road. So if this guy slowly swings at me, that's going to happen. Or even my hands don't get up. And my body starts to recoil in an instinctive way. Instantly, the fight and flight response comes up. My adrenaline starts coming up. There's better resilience against pain. All sorts of other cool things. But the moment that happens, go ahead again, please. At that point, now already awareness kicks in. What would I like to choose right now? How about push him away and run? How about throw a bomb strike? How about... But the body knows what to do. And it might look like that. So a little bit of practice helps to make that transition. We're going to practice that right now. But the cool thing is that your body really knows what to do. You don't need to learn how to strike correctly unless you want to. You don't need to learn how to blah, blah, blah unless you'd like to. But the gift here is, what does your body instinctively know? So, flinch slow motion. Now, use one of your hands to come forward and respond. Good. Flinch in slow motion. And now just push the person away. Good. Flinch in slow motion. And gouge their eyes out. And flinch in slow motion. And send the rainbow. Because the other side of this, will you fight for your life, is not just from a fear-based point of view, but what's the joy in your life that you're willing to fight for? That's even harder for some people. So, we're going to do a little exercise that's going to open up a little more energy. I'm going to ask you a question. Take 30 seconds to be with that, and we're going to be back in the chairs. So, flinch and response, please. Flinch and response. And just a little faster. Flinch and response. And go. And go. Okay, good. Now we're going to add one of the most important pieces, and that is your voice. Because your voice can actually scare the hell out of someone! And whether you use words like, ah! Or you use something more primal like a growl. That might be enough. So, I acknowledge and know that this can get uncomfortable and weird and love it. When when I walked around downtown, because I put the billboard up, I won't tell the whole story, but when I started walking around, I was like, I think I should talk to people, because my billboard's up, and just talk to people around the billboard. Like, what the hell's going on with my voice? This meant so much to me, this billboard, this project, that my voice dropped away. And I had to practice for a couple days, just talking to people. So our voice is really, really powerful. So, slow motion, flinch. No. Okay, good. Use normal speed, whatever speed you want to do. Ready, go. No. One more time, and no. Good. Now, we don't know what it is you're fighting to defend. We don't know what's worth fighting for in your life. You, someone else, a dream, your team, but it's there. Just feel it behind you. And when I say go, you flinch and say no. Ready? And go! No! Nice. Turn up the inner volume one more notch. Ready? Go! No! Now it's a yes. Ready? You're going to say yes. And go. Yes! And go! Yes! One more time. Go! Yes! Close your eyes. Put your feet underneath your body. Now that your senses are enlivened, and you know there is something worth fighting for, so the same as something worth living for, that is really just you. My question is, when I ask this, you'll have some thoughts. You may have some ideas, maybe just a sensation. Whatever shows up in response to this question, just notice it. What would you miss about your life if you were to not fight for your life? What would you miss about your life if you were to not fight for your life? And what is your greatest achievement? What's your greatest achievement? Thing you're most proud of? You get a sense for what that achievement is, whether it's the future or the past, whether it's something that you created or you were gifted. Anything is the right answer that comes up right now. What is it about that that's so special? What's the quality or what's the reason? If you were to tell me a story of why that's important. And now just give that a name, a word. Sort of pack up all that energy and awareness into a word. Can't get this wrong, so just in case there's any thoughts of, I don't know if this is the right word or the right idea, you cannot get it wrong. It's just a gift for you today. When you've got that word, please open your eyes and take a few steps forward. Okay, we're going to do a very short exercise that looks something like this. Hi, I'm tenderness. That was my word, tenderness. Hi, I'm tenderness.
Hi, I'm Shiv.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Hi, I'm tenderness. So we've got 30 seconds for a speed dating of your gifts. Hi, I'm If you don't like I'm, I'll give you one other option, and that is my gift is. My gift is or I'm. So choose which one you want to say. And I will clap my hands and let you know when the time is done. Speed date, go! There's a box on your sheet. On the right-hand side of your sheet, write number 1. Please write your work there. So you write that word there. And what I'd like you to get is kind of like, do you remember in Harry Potter, Hermione had that bag? And you could just keep filling it and keep filling it. Anytime you need to, you reach in and grab anything you want. Anybody know Harry Potter? So imagine you've got an endless suitcase, an infinite suitcase. That word is that magic suitcase. It's a code that you can endlessly unpack. And if you reflect on your life and your life stories and situations and your hopes and dreams, what we would probably discover, and I'm pretty confident saying this now after a couple of years of doing this, is we would find that most of the things that light you up in your life, the achievements, the breakthroughs, the things you're most proud of, have a pretty strong resonance with what you wrote down, with the quality. So if you were to tell me a story about that, you could pick almost any story from your life and tell me your win. And if you bring that into your interviews, your dating, your workouts, and you be conscious about how you bring that in, you have a layer of mastery with how you design your daily practice. When you get both sides, the fear side of it and the gift side of it, you've got the core value, or your core value proposition, if you choose to design your business or an adventure or a vacation around. So I know that almost everything I create has this arc. Even if I'm not trying to do it consciously, it tends to have this arc. And almost all of my challenges tend to have that arc. So it's a pretty powerful tool. Now you're getting a form that's called Stay Connected. And I just want to check in with everybody. And has this been interesting and have you got some value from this experience?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So it's not an answer. It's more like a seed that you can water anytime you want that'll just keep being there. And actually it's been the seed. I propose that it's been the seed for most of your ventures and most of your drive. So on the Stay Connected form, there's a couple invitations, like a menu. So the first one is I've created a Wake Up Your Epic Purpose daily practice. It's a movement practice, so it's a short little video, but it's something you can do, and I'll walk you through why those particular movements. But it's essentially designed to get any fear or point of view unstuck, so you can find your own body wisdom around an action. So if you like any of these, just check it off and give it to me on a break, which is coming up in just a moment. The second is I send emails out, usually with a story, a personal story, and some tools. So kind of like this, there's always a personal tool about your evolution and how you can choose yourself. The third block is if you've got some ideas of how we can collaborate, I'd love to chat with you. The fourth is I speak and train and facilitate. And we can have them going to Boston to talk to a group of international entrepreneurs in a boot camp for 6 weeks. So I work with people who are basically elevating themselves. So if you've got any ideas or places you want to recommend, that would be fantastic. And finally, the work that I do is not for everybody. It's usually for people who have this intersection of, call it life crisis, spiritual crisis. A sense of this material stuff, this success around money alone, I've been there, I want something more. And for that person who's looking to launch into something different, find their own unique way, that's really the kind of people that I am best suited for. So if that sounds like you or anyone you know, I've got a few epic clarity sessions where basically I will walk you through getting your arc, understanding that, connecting that to your personal story, so that it has a sense of, so you don't have to hit rock bottom to find this. You can just find it a little more gently. If any of those appeal to you, that'd be fantastic. I'd like to talk to you more. If you have any questions, we've got a break coming up, and I'm going to be here till the end of the day. I really honor you and am grateful for the journey that you've been on, and that you chose to come here and spend your Saturday morning with Tam and Michael and me and everybody here to choose yourself. I'd love to hear about what you are choosing from your experience today. Thank you very much, and have a great break. We'll see you at the next amazing talk in 2 minutes.